Okay, we are going to introduce a new segment in our presentations. This particular segment will be coming up at least 2 times in a week, and we'll be looking at questions in African history. We will give you the questions and provide the answers as well. This will help you to, check out your knowledge in African history. Well, to start this segment, the first version of it, we have about 6 questions that we picked at random in many parts of African history. The first one there is paternalism was the colonial policy adopted by which of these European countries in Africa during the colonial era? Paternalism was the colonial policy adopted by which of these European countries in Africa during the colonial period or colonial era? Number A, the first option there, A, Britain, B, Portugal, C, Germany, and D, France. A, Britain, B, Portugal, C, Germany, and D, France. Okay, the answer to it is C, Germany. Germany adopted the colonial policy of paternalism, whereby they tend to believe that they are kind of further structure to the people in their territories. I think the French had assimilation, while the British had the indirect rule system. Okay, that's the first question. We've done justice to that. Let's go to the second one. The second question says, which one of the following historical African city-states, which one of the following historical African city had a university long before Northern Europe? Which one of the following historical African city had a university long before Northern Europe? The first option, that is A, is Elmina. B is Timbuktu. C is Luanda. D, Great Zimbabwe. A, Elmina. B, Timbuktu. C, Luanda. D, Great Zimbabwe. Well, it might interest you to know that an African country as at far back as the African city as far back as the 9th century had a well-established university, and that city was Timbuktu. Timbuktu was a well-known city in the history of Africa. It's a city that attracted a lot of foreign visitors based on how organized, how structured the city was. The area that since Timbuktu was established can be found in the present-day Mali. As out the 9th century, there was a very well-organized university that had 3 schools with over 25,000 students in training or in the educational system. Timbuktu was as well a very prominent trading town as well, well organized. When it was under the Mali Empire's control, a lot of positive write-ups were made about Timbuktu. Unfortunately, at the time, the city lost its influence. Well, that was the second question. The third question Now, the third question is, which of the following pairs of African countries are not former European colonies? Which of the following pairs of African countries are not former European colonies? A option, Egypt and South Africa. The B option, Nigeria and Niger. The C option, Ethiopia and Liberia. While the D option, Ghana and Angola. Well, the option, I think the answer was or is Ethiopia and Liberia. Now, the issue of Ethiopia and Liberia not being colonized by any European country is real. Although some pro-European historians tend to link Ethiopia to Italy. Some of them believe that Ethiopia was former a colony to Italy, but that was wrong. Yes, Ethiopia and Italy fought that should be twice. In the first war, Ethiopia defeated Italy. After a while, there was another round of disagreement which degenerated to a war which the Ethiopians lost. The Italians occupied Ethiopia for a little while, but could not be said to have established any form of government or any form of influence over Ethiopia. After a while, they were pushed out as well. So it would be wrong for anybody to add Ethiopia as a colony of Italy. The same thing goes for Liberia, which was actually a strong development or creation by means of settling former slaves, which America won as well, and the Pan-Africanists in support of religious organizations, humanitarian organizations, and to a certain level, the United States government helped in establishing the settlement for former slaves. And this settlement, in conjunction with some locals in the area, ended up into what we know today as Liberia. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, let us look at the fourth question. The fourth question. Which of these African countries had the territory of what was formerly known as the Dahomey Kingdom or Dahomey Empire? Which of these African countries had the territory of what was formerly known as the Dahomey Kingdom or Dahomey Empire? The first option, that's A, Gabon, B, Benin, C, Tanzania, D, Botswana. First option, Gabon, B, Benin, C, Tanzania, D, Botswana. Well, the answer is Benin. And in the French, we call it a Benin Republic, or Benin. In English, I think it's called Benin Republic. The area was formerly known as Dahomey, and in 1975, the name was changed from Dahomey to Benin Republic. When in the next question, that should be the fifth question. The fifth question. Do we have up to 6 questions? Okay, we'll have to end in the fifth one. The fifth question says, which of the following centers of civilization in Africa was the only one, or was one of them that experienced the Bronze Age? Which of the following early centers of civilization in Africa experienced the Bronze Age? I think the first one option we have there is Ghana, B, Songhai, C, Nubia, D, Axum. A, Ghana, B, Songhai, C, Nubia, D. Axum. Wow. The answer is C. Nubia. Nubia was one of the earliest empires established by Africans. And at a time, the area controlled by Nubia was very strong, was very large. In the history of Egypt, the Nubians controlled Egyptian territory for a good number of years. But one unique thing about Nubia was that Nubia was one of the earliest places in Africa that iron production was, done. Prior to this time, there was some misinformation being carried around that Europeans introduced iron to Africa. And some people tend to bring it as close as the colonial period era. But that was wrong. As far back as 500 BC, there were evidences of iron being produced in Nubia Empire. Another place was Nok in the present-day Nigeria, and some other places in Africa that had the earliest evidences of iron production. And these places where iron were produced in Africa dates back to the same time, possibly, that iron was produced in Asia. So there is no evidence, or there was, and there is, and I don't think there will be any evidence also to say that Europeans were the ones that introduced iron to Africa. Maybe during the colonial era, they had made some input as regard making iron to be widely used by many parts of Africa. But before that, in a place like the Ghana Empire, which was many years before the Europeans came, the Soninke people used iron far many years before Europeans came and conquered the region. They were using iron, and that made them one of the strongest, or one of a very strong group. And the use of iron, which they made use of in producing their farming tools and as well weapons, helped them in creating or coming together towards survival, which generated or moved towards the establishment of Ghana Empire. So you can see that the misinformation of some claims that iron came to Africa from Europe cannot be substantiated, or for sure can be said to be false information. Please, we intend to actually make use of this segment as a means of interaction between us here and you. If you want to sponsor this segment, please, you can reach out to us. The email you can use to reach out to us will be in the comment section. Please, if you're watching us for the first time, do us the justice of subscribing to our channel and clicking on notification, so that anytime we drop a new content or we drop a new information in this segment, you'll be one of the earliest people to be notified. Thank you for being part of our presentation for the first time in this channel as regards the questions in African history. I'm still fortunate to honor a trained historian with high interest in African history. Thanks once again.